The world before voice was one of very manual oversight at a very low level compared to the business that we did. In the 12 months prior to voice becoming involved, we saw a very big difference in the way that we managed QA. However, it was a completely manual process. There's various inputs of data from voice which enable us to determine as an operation what our focus areas should be. The alerts provide us with a daily dose of customer accounts where particular phrases have been used, and we can, on the back of the determined phrase, check that it's accurate first, and then appropriate behaviour from the associate to the account situation. The scorecard data is also vital, and that enables us to determine, number one, whether we've set the scorecard appropriately, because that's an ongoing development area for us. But it means that we can also see how it aligns to our QA framework in terms of the manual listening that we do.
We're able to find the calls much sooner. All the agents are on there. We're able to track disposition codes much quicker, which is quite vital for us to understand, has the right call been marked, has the right disposition been used in terms of that. But the main part of how it's changed is purely how timely the feedback is delivered and how it's been catalogued. It's all on voice. My personal favourite feature of voice for coaching is the transcript. When you actually go into the transcript, it will highlight the area where you might have set an alert or a vulnerability trigger or something like that. So I can go straight to that and I can skip all the preamble and get straight to where I need, and then listen to maybe a minute before and a minute after. That is my favourite feature of the entire system, hands down, is the transcript. It just makes my job so much easier.
Well, the implementation of voice, very straightforward. And I think that's down to the support that we received from Voice themselves. We were very clear on what our expectations were. Those were enhanced once we had any interaction with Voice. Being able to implement it on a staged basis meant that from a basic scorecard, we had our first version of our actual collection scorecard done within 3 weeks. And the speed of that change was driven solely by the support that we received from Sardica at Voice. If I was to rank it between easy and difficult, I would say it was on the easy side, but that's not to deter from the amount of work that went into it and the commitment from the team that were involved.
The integration process of setting up Voice has been one of the easiest things I've had to do in my career at Specialist Motor Finance. The reason why I think we got there so much quicker than your average of 90 days is because we had lots of touch points with Sardica, with other businesses and other customers that you were using that were all there rooting for you as well, that they wanted the success. And because of that, it was never difficult to use. I'm not someone who shies away from using technology at all, but when it comes to using the actual UI of Voice, it was so easy and straightforward. And with the assistance and tips that we had and the procedure documents and the Voice Village, it was much quicker because all the information was there. I just needed to put our process procedure into Voice, which wasn't that difficult.
If I was to speak to a peer about Voice, I would wholeheartedly recommend it for a number of reasons. Not just the 100% call coverage that's available, it's the impact of the various data streams that you gain from Voice that enable you to take immediate proactive action. The interaction with Voice means that we have a regular touch point so we can learn from our peers. That's a touch point that wouldn't have been available under normal circumstances. The support from Voice in terms of how we're making the most out of the software as well means that it pays for itself day in and day out. The comfort we get from a safeguarding perspective, I think, is invaluable. In essence, delivering good customer outcomes is a key focus for us as a business. But part of that, and perhaps more intuitively, it's about doing the right thing by our customers. And Voice enables us to do that far, far better than we were ever able to do prior to its implementation.
If someone was to ask me, why should we implement Voice, I would tell them how much time have they got. How much time have you got? I can tell you all the reasons why you should. It gives you more data, it gives you more resource, it brings your team together, it gives you something really strong to work on. You're not going to be left in the dark at any point. You've got so many points of reference to speak to. Voice in itself, the system to use, has become addictive in a weird way because I've got the data I need within 3 hours. It speeds every process up. You don't know what you don't know until Voice shows you what you don't have. It gives you the data, like, oh, amazing, we can work on this now, we can do X, Y, Z. Having Voice is something that I would hope every business would have in the future because it ensures that your customers are being treated to the FCA standards and the consumer duty is being hit in all of your calls, and you can rest easy knowing that all of our calls are being monitored and marked. And at the end of the day, when we're working with customers and we want to make sure our customers have the best interaction possible, Voyc gives you the data to do that, to make sure you're hitting those pinpoints and you can target yourself as opposed to just giving it a go.